Welcome everyone. Today we have our conference with the Innovative Academic Research Publishers from France. We have our president from Innovative Academic Research Publishers, Dr. Soha Akiki, as well as we have our honorable chairman from Aatish Dipankar University, Mr. Samsul Alam Litons. His board member also education minister in Bangladesh. He was private secretary of Bangladesh president. He started his careers as a politician, as a media person, and he has a great contributions in Bangladesh education, Bangladesh politics and media. We have our world famous speaker, Professor Fred Philip. He is a president of Tando, and he has all of the famous scientists from around the world, and he is taking the leads last 40 years in the academia. He will be our keynote speaker for today. Also, we have famous speaker Lisa from North America, Mr. Rob Enderle, a great strategist from North America. Also, Dr. Javed Khan from India. So first, I would like to give chance Dr. Soha Akiki for her opening remarks.
Thank you very much. Good evening, good morning, wherever you are. And thank you for being with us and for accepting to be part of this conference. Especially, it's a very important conference on environment and what we are facing as environmental problems worldwide. And this topic is becoming not only a topic, it's becoming a necessity. It's an emergency for our planet and for the whole world nowadays. And Innovative Academic Research Publisher is here. We want to contribute to the environment, to the researchers in environment, and in all kinds of topics which can help our future and our kids' future. That's very, very important. We cannot think of ourselves only. We have to think of the future generation, which is a must for us. It's our responsibility to think about our future generation, especially as that I'm going to become a grandmother in 1 or 2 months. I don't know whenever the baby will arrive, but it's I'm really worried, and I am really grateful to all of you that you accepted to be part of this conference today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Soha. In that situation, I directly want to give opportunities to Mr. Samsul Alam. He is our chief guest. He is a chairman of Aatish Dipankar University. And Mr. Samsul Alam, what you want to discuss about climate actions, green business, and sustainable innovation? Liton bhai. Mr. Samsul Alam, can you hear me? I think he has internet issues. In that situation, I have to go directly for our keynote speakers. Professor Fred Philip, can you start your keynote speech?
My pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me, Dr. Sharif. Because you did lead me to believe we'd be addressing ministry officials today. Let me put down my prepared remarks from diplomatic language and speak to you more in support. I believe you've told the participants today something about borrowed perhaps with viewers, but a very prestigious journal, if I may say so myself. I've been involved with a couple of national academies of sciences, visiting scientists at the Chinese Academy of Sciences, given a medal in economics by the Russian Academy of Sciences. And earlier in my career, I was the protege of the founder of our institute, a man by the name of George Kosmetsky, who was a pioneering technology entrepreneur in the United States and was later awarded the U.S. National Medal of Technology by President Bill Clinton. After the PhD, I worked in industry for more than a dozen years. I went to see George for some advice when I got tired of my industry career. He found a moment for me because he was busy mentoring young Michael Dell at that time as Michael was starting his Little Shin and the like.
Fred?
Yes.
Could we get everybody that's not speaking to mute? We're getting a lot of noise through here, and I'm having a hard time hearing Fred. So if everybody that's not speaking could please mute. Thanks. Oh, sorry, Fred.
Thank you. Good suggestion. All right. So in 2019, 2020, we separated from the university with about half of Global Fellows, incorporated as an independent nonprofit research institute, changed our name to Tondo Institute because we could no longer use the old name that was owned by the University of Texas. And we have a three-part mission. First, the valorization or commercialization of beneficial technologies. Second, technology-based regional economic development. And third is climate action. With regard to climate action, our mission is to contribute meaningful and powerful writing, teaching, and action for remedying climate change. So let me talk about climate change, as the politics are very difficult. And that was alluded to before we started the show today. I believe that our international audience can legitimately ask this morning, why should I listen to an American on this topic?
Right.
Yeah. The resistance to environmental action in the U.S. under our current administration is strong, and it's going to get worse, as I'll mention. And Americans have historically abused me for being a bit facetious. That urgency will increase. The problems that face us, and I detailed several of these when I spoke in Bangladesh. Sharif, that was almost 5 years ago, was it not? But problems include, of course, money. How much government budget can be spared for climate remediation measures, climate adaptation measures. And it's become more and more obvious that the issue is not passing laws. The issue is enforcing the laws that exist. When money is scarce and police forces are underpaid, it is very easy to see how anti-environmental renegades like loggers, people engaging in overfishing, can pay off police. Hard to speak so loud. Or perhaps a policeman routinely takes his police salary and does a bit of illegal logging on the side. So there's that kind of corruption. There is other kinds of corruption, corporate greenwashing, which I spoke about in Bangladesh. And Tondo Institute has a white paper on that topic that Sharif should feel free to share with all of you. We have corporate lobbying. Let me come back to that in a moment. Some religious beliefs are working against climate action. There are a great many people in the United States, Brazil, Ireland, other countries in a certain Christian sect who believe that Jesus will return almost immediately and elevate heaven. Why should they take care of the earth? Why should they be pro-environmental voters? They can see no reason for this. This is another obstacle to pro-environmental action. There's ordinary psychological denial. When we don't see something affecting our lives in the most immediate way, we push it out of our minds. There are generations of people brought up inside this exploitative ethos who believe that the earth is their dominion to be exploited as they wish. On the positive side, there are pro-environmental technologies coming out that we all need to be familiar with to help them pro-environment. One of these fascinating. There's now tools for tracing the origin of pollution. And when I said in America the regulatory system, scene is going to get worse, here is a good example. Oil companies are lobbying Congress at this moment to be immune from any lawsuits that might result from this sourcing technology. That if you can trace harmful and perhaps deadly pollution to a particular company, that company wants Congress to make them immune from prosecution. So on the regulatory front in America, things will get worse before they get better. But on the technological front, things are getting better, both slowly and in the case of alternative energy, quickly. So in the long run, we'll have to face a more fundamental question, and that would be, how can we maintain a technological civilization that enables most of us to live comfortably and at the same time be friendly to the earth? This is a very long-term question. I imagine our Tondo Institute fellows will attack it eventually, but we have many more urgent questions to attack first, as I've just implied. Tondo Institute, on the climate front, we tend to focus on cities. Why is this? Cities consume the lion's share of energy and materials, and cities produce, I should say, the share of the other lion of pollution and waste. And so they are the locus of this urgent problem. But at the same time, city governments and city officials are close to the problems of the local region and the local people. And they're able to make decisions more quickly. If you're watching the American government, federal government, or national government, you know that they'll talk. They will avoid the important issues and make a lot of noise about unimportant issues. And meanwhile, every day, many of the world's species go extinct and more people die from pollution and heat stroke, while the national legislature does almost nothing. But cities take action, and this is why and cities have unique local conditions, both climate related and in terms of the surrounding bioregion and what they can grow and what doesn't grow and so on. So we focus on cities, but not exclusively. And one specific program that fits under our climate action is the certificate program. We call it Strategic AI Climate Leadership Certificate. Dr. Sharif wants me to talk about that, so let me use the remainder of my time to talk about the certificate. We are going to create create not just a continuing education certificate, but a global climate core. And this means that the trained young change agents who have graduated from our certificate program are going to use unique tools to move their employing organizations in pro-environmental directions, or should they become entrepreneurs, move their own new ventures in pro-environmental directions. So this certificate program will train participants in change management, climate entrepreneurship, system thinking, because so many climate issues are interlinked, in leadership, in collaborative innovation, negotiation, and all these topics that will help them to become change agents in organizations. It's not necessary they have a scientific background. It always helps. Some modules in the certificate program will address some elements of climate science and technology. All of those management-related skills will be represented in the context of climate and environmental cases. And the modules also, they'll be taught by distinguished Tondo Institute fellows and selected others, and they will feature personal interaction with the Tondo Institute's outstanding global fellows. So the graduates of each certificate cohort are going to leave the program with, well, we hope they never leave the program. They leave the modules, having tested the modules of the program. They will have ongoing interaction with the graduates of all the cohorts and with the Tondo Institute fellows in a proprietary portal. They'll have the continued mentorship of the Tondo Institute fellows. They will be appointed as Tondo associates. They'll have access to a repository of resources on the portal, including the climate leadership library that we have compiled and continue to add to. They'll have the use of a proprietary artificial intelligence capability. It's actually part of the instructional modules, and it's designed to encourage innovative and ethical decisions on environment and climate. They will have a certificate that's co-awarded by Tondo Institute and by California Institute of Advanced Management, CIAM. CIAM is an accredited and well-regarded university in California, oriented to management as a liberal art and teachings of you know, that famous guy. His name will occur to me in a moment. All right, so these are, and the graduates will also have possible credit toward the MBA should the certificate graduate be accepted to California Institute of Advanced Management MBA program. They're welcome to apply after finishing our certificate, and if accepted, some of the certificate credit from the non-credit program will be converted to academic credit toward the MBA degree. So to conclude, I hope that the Tondo Institute will be able to help your countries and your organizations. One first step is for your institutions to send students to the Strategic AI Climate Leadership Certificate. I should mention that our target market for participants in the certificate are, at the very earliest, fourth year university students, but then graduate students, young employment seekers, and young employees in whatever sector, the government sector, the corporate sector. the nonprofit sector, the entrepreneur sector, and so on. Our very distinguished Institute Fellows are happy to help your institutions in other ways as well, research collaboration, PhD supervision, and the like. And with that, I'll wrap it up and say thank you very much for your attention. And over to you, Dr. Sharif.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Fred. And we have our other speaker, Rani Wemel, Dr. Javed, Mr. Samsul Alam, Lisa, and Robender Lee. We have our very special guest and chief guest for this program, Mr. Samsul Alam. He is a president of Atish Dipankar University. And Mr. Samsul Alam, can you hear me?
Yeah, very clear.
Yes. Yeah. So what you want to discuss about climate action, green business, and sustainable innovations as you are operating university in Bangladesh, your board member, also education ministers in Bangladesh, Mr. Ehsanul Haq, Dr. Ehsanul Haq Milon, also your team closely working with Bangladesh Prime Minister Office. So how the climate, example, I'm from Rajbari, a very small place in Bangladesh. We are heavily affected by the climate change. So what's your thoughts? How we can collaborate together with Tando, with California Institute of Management, and how we can make progress, because according to my understanding, Bangladesh Prime Minister's taking some extraordinary initiative for climate change. So what's your thought?
Thank you. Actually, I was listening a bit low, and most of the time it was not clear to me. Dr. Fred, it was very nice to listen to his speech, and he was even emphasized on relevant issues. And Dr. Sharif, I already spoke to you this morning, and Dr. Suha and other distinguished academician and personalities from cross-section. We are really badly affected, not only in Bangladesh. Now I'm in London, and today the heat and the temperature is 32 plus. So in summer, it is really not a common scenario. Last couple of years, situation is declining. So in everywhere, there are so many changes taking place, and in Bangladesh nowadays, it is also situation is changing every year. And last 2-3 years, situation indicates that the coming years will be more difficult, more complicated, and a big question is knocking at our door, that whether we are ready to face the consequences of climate change. And we are talking about green business and sustainable innovation. Nowadays, we are moving towards the world dominated by artificial intelligence. So when it's a big question that job cuts will be taking place, millions job is under threat. But at the same time, as an optimistic personality, I'm thinking that the transformation process will accommodate some more sustainable innovation that will accommodate billions instead of millions who lost their jobs. But the avenue where we are moving towards, there will be a big future, big positive future will be waiting for us if we prepare ourselves by sustainable innovation. So as a natural disaster was a very common issues in last 5 to 6 decades in Bangladesh. I think in this forum, all of the members are aware that cyclone and flood was regular scenario in Bangladesh every year, once or twice. But dramatically, within last 10 years, only 1 or 2 times medium spore flood has taken place, and cyclone, there was not a big cyclone, what was very common in 80s and 90s. So climate change, it is definitely, there are so many dimensions, but we are talking about heat, but it is almost unseen that flood situation and cyclone, that is also changed the roster. And scientists who are actually researching on these things, they need to fix, they need to explore the reality, explore the facts, why this is happening, and on coming decade, what will be happen. And it is very important for us to make a plan to prepare ourselves as a person, as a area, geographical area, as a nation, as a region, and as well as the member of the planet. So I am an ordinary citizen of Bangladesh and also a British Bangladeshi. So I'm very concerned about my society, my family, my community, my neighborhood, and my people in London, my neighborhood in London. And at the same time, I'm seriously concerned about my country in Bangladesh and South Asian countries. So we need to try to explore the questions of serious answers of serious questions together, because alone we can't do too many things. And thank you, Dr. Sharif, to make this platform and to give us opportunity to think together and to move on together, because California, I think last 30 or 40 years when I have started to watch television, and I have seen every year twice or thrice huge cyclone as taking place at that states, and it is more and more devastating than Bangladesh. And Bangladeshi floods, it was taking huge world focus because of the poverty, and the after flood there is a huge food crisis and other issues. But in California or United States, that is not the case. Their recovery program is the biggest challenge. They have no food problem. They have no problem of a vehicle to recover the people. But these things are not available in Bangladesh, where it's a developing nation. So rescue materials and disaster management materials, facilities, and infrastructures is not available in Bangladesh. That is available in California. So what we can, resource is not only the solution, sustainable innovation, and that is the solution that would equip us to face any situation upcoming. So I'm very much interested to listen from other distinguished member of this forum, and if there is anything to share, I will share at the end if there is any opportunity. And I'm requesting you all, the member of this distinguished forum, please give us idea how we can help our 180 million people living in a small piece of land in South Asia, where poverty we have faced little bit, and we are now near about to middle income country. But climate change disaster, climate change issues, and relocation of the people, and the heat and other issues, that is sometimes unmanageable for a country like Bangladesh. So we can share our thoughts, views, and we can assist any research, because we have that population, we have that our geographical advantage, and we are the near of Bay of Bengal. So a number of 25 to 30 countries are vulnerable for this geographical location. We are one of them, and we are facing every day a threat that our one part will be disappeared within 50 years for the result of climate change. So these sort of things we need to prepare ourselves to handle and to address this upcoming very unforeseen and big issues that is coming in future. I'm very much interested to listen from you, distinguished person, distinguished capitals. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Litton, for your valuable discussions. And hopefully, with your university, we can do more research. We can launch climate leadership program. We can go for innovations. Here is the innovative approach I'm sharing. Last 2 years of time with all of the scientific like partners from World Talent Economic Forum, from Stanford University, from NASA, and from Tando. We do research and we identify this Himalaya, this Ganga, this Podda, and the Bay of Bengal. The global 10% of the global population is here, around 600 million people. This is not only the threat, this is also opportunity for the new economic revolutions with green technology. I write a book, it's called Innovate, Connect, and Transfer. It's called Silk Route 3.0. So with this Silk Route 3.0, why we organize this conference, that Global North and Global South, scientists, inventors, technology transfer through technology transfer as well as impact investment is necessary, and definitely we can raise around $1 trillion economy in Bangladesh, in India. So the India and Bangladesh, we need to work together. That's why I invite Indian scholar in this forum. Also our North American friend who can scientifically help us. Even in the Himalaya, we do research for glacier melting with Stanford University, with NASA. And hopefully this will be a very valuable discussion for us. Right now, I directly want to go to Mr. Rob Inderly. Mr. Rob Inderly, what's your thought about artificial intelligence integration for this climate-related challenge?
So the problem we have with climate change and technology, and Fred kind of talked about this, I do think, though, when we do these things, we really have to talk about sound quality, because most of what Fred said I couldn't hear. It was just the wind static was overriding it, and it wasn't his phone because he's muted, and I was still hearing the static after he muted. So somebody else had his phone unmuted, and it made it hard to hear Fred. But the issue with technology right now and artificial intelligence in general is the tendency for the training set to become compromised, and for the artificial intelligence, if the query is not put forth properly, to hallucinate. And so I had a great hope that a lot of the folks that were climate deniers and the large institutions, companies that were working pretty hard to cover up climate change would be overcome as people started using AI and asking their own questions. We certainly have a lack of critical thinking, I think, in the world, which is a bigger problem. But that AI would, when they asked the question, would give them a truthful answer, and then we watched how Grok got compromised by Elon Musk and started saying weird stuff. So I'm not sure we can really trust AI until we really get down to the fact that we have to make AI's quality consistently better. Because if we've got issues with people compromising training sets, and you've got multi-billion-dollar companies that are interested in doing exactly that, we're going to have issues, and so we're going to have AI telling you that climate change isn't real either. Which I think, as we watch much of the United States go up in smoke and a good chunk of Europe go up in smoke this summer, it's kind of obvious we've got problems. But the ability for AI to look through and at huge data sets and come up with ways to address problems is unprecedented. And some of the underlying technologies that we're developing to address and mitigate some of the climate change problems are looking very promising. Using AI coupled with drones and sensor networks to discover fires before they become fires. In other words, when they're just smoldering, when they're small and can be handled by a small crew of people or by a drone carrying water. We've got that capability. It's just a matter of switching some of our spend from military to fire containment and climate change mitigation. We could do some amazing things. A lot of the aircraft we're using for heavy lift and dropping water really weren't designed for that to begin with. They were retrofitted. And if we put the same kind of effort in building heavy lift vehicles, dirigibles and things that can carry massive amounts of water, then we could address a number of these things far more quickly. We just have to have the willingness to do it, and AI can point the way, but only if we assure the AI's data set is giving us the answers that we need, not the answers that we want, which is kind of a difference. If you use AI as a justification for decisions you've already made, you're using it wrong. And that's often where AI goes off the rails and starts hallucinating. So with the proper training in how to use AI with data sets that have a lot of authority and accuracy, you can get AI to do some amazing things. It's just that's not the path we're on at the moment, I'm afraid. And while we've got some companies like Anthropic that are doing their level best to try to keep the wheels on the rails, the train on the rails, we've got a lot more companies like X that are doing their level best to make sure AI stays off the rails and provides answers that people want to hear, not the answers that they really need to hear. And that's problematic. And by the way, that's not just problematic with AI. That's problematic in large companies. That's problematic in government. People have a tendency to like the information that they agree with. And right now, climate change is a unfortunate truth. And people don't want to spend money on fixing it. Petrochemical companies don't want to give up their source of income. I mean, you can understand it. It's your livelihood. Why would you want to sacrifice? We had the same problem with tobacco companies covering up the problems with regard to tobacco. And we have had doctors going off at one point and going on commercials saying that certain cigarettes were actually healthy. Which is bonkers. And of course, we've got similar things with regards to vaccines right now. And Lord save us, we've got large groups of people that just pretty much disbelieve everything from the moon landing to the world being round. And so the end result is we've got so much misinformation, and that misinformation is going into training sets, and those training sets are informing the AIs and how they behave, and the end result is AIs that are giving the wrong answer. So I believe AI could be used to address, certainly could be used immediately to mitigate a lot of the problems like the fires we have. We have to have the will to apply it that way. It could also point to where the problems are most pronounced, and it could help identify the best methods to mitigate the underlying problems and actually correct them over time. But only if their mission to do this, only if people listen to them, and only if the training sets can be relied upon to provide the proper answers. And unfortunately, very little of that's in place right now. So yes, AI could make a huge difference. Right now, I'm not seeing it. And other than a few companies that are standing up for ethics and accuracy, the vast majority of firms are just chasing money. And we can look at the data centers going up and say, well, that's not helping us any, because they're pulling so much power, they're pulling so much water. They're actually starting to exacerbate climate change significantly than helping to mitigate it. So I think we're on the wrong path. We could use this technology for good. It's just unfortunate we don't seem to be really all that greatly focused on that particular endeavor. So that's where we are.
Thank you, Mr. Rob. Now I request Mr. Javed, what's your thought about AI applications in climate solutions? Or if you want to share some of the emerging technologies you have in mind, Dr. Javed. We also have our new friends, Rani, Wemel. I will definitely listening. I think you are from Malaysia. And Lisa, I come back to you after Dr. Javed Khan.
Thank you, Dr. Sharif. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So, just a second. Yes. First of all, let me introduce. I'm in Delhi from India, and I am a professional for environment management systems, for ISO certifications, for EHS, quality, sustainability, and other strategical work also. I'm doing here with industries, with construction companies. Just a second. हेलो हाँ हेलो हाँ मैं अभी थोड़ी देर में ज्वाइन करता हूँ ठीक है मेरे को 10 मिनट गिव मी 10 मिनट्स ओके सॉरी टू ओके सो okay here I am working for this environment management systems, quality management systems, health and safety management systems. For last 30 years, I am lead auditor for various ISO standards. And I have worked with automobile companies, construction companies, manufacturing companies, different types of institutes. Being a mechanical engineer, MBA and PhD also, I have worked with institutes. I'm giving lead auditor programs and sustainability programs and other types of QHSE programs to students, to professionals. I have done more than 500 such projects and I have done some research work also on these. But I have seen that in India, and not only in India, in the whole world, I do not see the seriousness, the truthfulness for sustainability. I think that is a dark part of it. But what we actually show on papers or in numbers, on ground, that reality is not there. So this thing actually disturbs me a little. That when governments, they are saying something, then they should do it wholeheartedly. What actually happens that companies and countries, they are still not taking sustainability in the right way, right? They talk about sustainability, but they are not in a hurry to implement it. Okay, when it comes to enforce the law, then they do it. Otherwise, even sometimes they do not do in that sense. This I am practically seeing. I gave my introduction because I am consultant, auditor, trainer, strategist, and from my bottom of my heart, actually, I want to do it. But when I see the countries and companies, I do not see that picture, and I have evidences for that. Okay. Now I will show you the evidence now. So. What my submission to all, whether it's from Bangladesh or India or Pakistan or America or Iran or Russia, any country in any of the continent, we should be serious about it because as the sustainability goals, SDGs, we developed it, we kept a target of 2030. Now we have enhanced the target also. But when we see that how much we have achieved on ground level, I don't think more than 50%, but most of the countries I'm talking about. But I think that we should do it on the war footing basis. There are so many factors which are impacting the world, and still we are not so. We do not look so serious about it. I would like to present something, Dr. Sharif, with your permission.
Yeah, basically we need to give chance to our new speakers. Definitely, I come back to you, Rani Wemel. So, Rani, what you want to discuss about climate-related policy? What's happening in Malaysia right now? You are in Malaysia, right? So, or what's going on? What's your thought? You have your own media. Can you unmute yourself, Rani Wemel? Rani, can you hear me? Rani Wimel, can you hear me? Dr. Javed, you can hear me?
Yes,
I think
can
Rani has some internet issues. Professor Fred, what you want to discuss about the policy issues for climate change, specifically with your climate leadership program, if the mature level of students from the government, specifically this policy level, they come, that how they can learn the policy related issues as well as the technological part, which is very important. Mr. Shamsul Alam already mentioned that. What's your thought?
I would like to see the AI be more Socratic, to try to elicit sharper opinions from the users. And I'm speaking about, when I say users, participants in the climate leadership program and others. Rob talked about the corruption of training sets. And yet, if you're familiar with what Mr. Trump is trying to do with the Smithsonian museums at present, and change the view of U.S. history that our students that our human students see, okay, that's corrupting the training set for humans. We complain about AIs being obsequious and kissing up to the user, but we all know people who do the same thing too. And I believe that every objection you can raise to AI at the present moment, you can also raise about an analogous misbehavior on the part of humans. This is because right now, most of the training sets that AI are based on are human-generated stuff that found its way onto the internet. Now, eventually, greater portions of AI training data will be stuff that's generated by other AIs, stuff that's generated by AI's direct observation of the physical world, and maybe the situation will change. But right now, the AIs are mirroring all the personality quirks of human beings. Not necessarily all bad, because humans have muddled through hundreds of thousands of years to the present moment. But as we are all talking about today, we cannot rely on muddling through any longer because of the climate crisis, and a big part of the climate crisis that we ourselves have caused. So, right now, where I'm speaking to you from, it's 100 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about 38 degrees C. Nonetheless, I wore a collared shirt to be a little bit formal for all of you. I could not bring myself, Dr. Shamsul Alam, I could not bring myself to wear a necktie today, but urge you to be comfortable also. But it's coming home to all of us, and to the extent that we can use AI wisely, so much the better. But it will be sometime, if ever before, the AI is the panacea. Another political thing going on right now in the States is that California is not benefiting from all the aid from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, that Dr. Shamsul thinks we are. We are not, because the governor of California is an opponent of Mr. Trump. And so Trump is withholding FEMA aid to the states, we call them the blue states, that are mostly voters in the Democratic Party. So my list of problems and obstacles to climate remediation, I really do have to add the tendency of some authoritarian governments that are non-democratic, either on the political right or on the political left to turn into kleptocracies. Means a government of thieves. And they are not inclined to take pro-environmental measures. They are in their position of authority for the sole purpose of enriching themselves. We have a saying about wealth and death. The saying is, you can't take it with you. But people who are very exclusively oriented to accumulating dollar wealth seem to forget that they can't take it with them, and as a result do things that are very, very contrary to the kinds of measures we're hoping for here. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Samsul Alam, as you have a strong engagement for the policy developments as well as universities, so what policy, financial mechanism, and public-private partnerships are effective for green technologies in Bangladesh and emerging economy? What's your thought?
You asked me?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Public-private partnership, and on what aspect? On innovation or any other aspect?
Like project developments and all of the things.
Okay. Yeah, the huge opportunity exists in Bangladesh to promote, to comments, or to take any initiative relevant on climate action and also sustainable innovation. Innovation part is different. It is the work of university or other technical institution, but green business and climate action is open for third sector, development sector, public sector, private sector, is open to any sector. But what was the opportunity for public sector or third sector or development sector, particularly on NGO, non-governmental organization? They can take any initiative to save or to promote livelihood of coastal area people, or the climate affected people and their livelihood, and their to maintain their business with in any situation, or if there is any relocation, or if there is anything happen or climate related disaster, so that innovative ways could be taken as a project or a short-term, mid-term, or long-term project initiatives. And at that case, there are match funding from governmental own capacity, own resources, and also climate fund that is organized, that is maintained by government and international agencies who are working in Bangladesh. And universities, they have capacity to formulate any project in collaboration with government or bureaucracy. And there is a good sign is there is a bad name in developing countries, bureaucracy, that is corruption and any other thing. But I found them very positive. And sometimes, corruption in everywhere, first world, second world, or developing countries in different formats. But in Bangladesh, particularly, the projects relevant to people's livelihood, and to which projects are initiated by non-government organizations. In that case, the business cost, service charges are very minimum, and these things government address regularly by its planning ministry. And planning ministry is one of the swiftest and one of the organized ministry in Bangladesh. And one is IRD, International Relations, IRD. There's a very powerful department. They assess and monitor. ERD,
ERD, right?
yeah, External
Yes.
Resources
Economic-
Division. I'm sorry. Thank you. External
Yes.
resources, so that the external sources, whether it is international, governmental, or non-governmental, like G2G or UN and related organizations or international NGOs, so that for incorporation of these bodies, and sometime government support these commence these projects to make feasible or to make a right way formulation to PPP. And there is a department of PPP who plays a directorate is working under Prime Minister's office. So I think not NGO is single entity, organization or institution, any NGO that is working separately. And the limitation of NGOs who is working for education, they are also working for health, they are also working for climate disaster. So they are jack of all trades. That's their strength and limitation. But if it is PPP, public-private partnership, in that case, the matching and the project office management that is supported by the government with their own stake, but they are not controlling like other bureaucratic system. So that's a big issue. And I can share one thing, that nowadays a electric vehicle and other thing, relevant vehicle and relevant transportation is being very popular, and there is a government program that they want to convert it at least 50% of the vehicles by 2030, and then 2035 to 100%. So it's a huge plan and huge ambition. But government confirmed that it is not only possible by them, because electric vehicle, is just not only a body, it is a basically lithium ion and other batteries required. So that's the main thing, where raw materials and other things that is not available in Bangladesh that need to be imported, and the size and the structure of lithium ion and other batteries is the main challenge, and there is a huge scope to make some research. But in Bangladesh, a limitation of the university's research funds limitation, so it is not possible for Bangladeshi any university to make it individual research formula or formulation. So where Bangladeshi universities need support from United States of European universities. So and second thing is, in IT related innovation, whether everything is going towards AI, so that our livelihood, our business, our blockchain, if it is properly managed, if there is any project that can handle the perishable items, because it is small country, in one side to another side, the commodity and the mobilization of food, if it is make it easy, because non-perishable item, it is not a problem at all for a small country. But perishable item, it is very important, because the blockchain problem, there is a big problem in blockchain for different reasons. It will take too much time, so that I'm not explaining here. So there is a opportunity of sustainable innovation system to engage hundreds of thousands of people, because people's network is very strong, because in every community living hundreds of thousands of people. In a square mile, there are 2,000 people living. So that density of the people, sometimes it is opportunity, rather problem. So these fields are required new innovation, new projects, and to make life easy and to address unemployment and other things. So
Thank you.
PPP
Thank
is the best formula here. Or
Yeah, Yeah, thank you. Already we are working with Japan University and JICA for these climate-related innovations. And you are absolutely right. With this ERD, basically they provide necessary funding for doing research for climate-related things. So Tando, with all of their scholar, they have their famous scientists like this from Japan. So together we can collaborate with these planning ministries, with your universities. If ERD support us, we can invite Japan to invest in our climate-related research. And we also can launch this climate-related program with your university. With the collaborations of Atish Dipankar University of Science and Technology, there are available funds for this kind of research. But issue is that we need political mobilizations, political relationship and connectivity. What you have, so maybe through this kind of framework in between Tando, World Talent Economic Forum, with Japan, I already discussed with the Japan donor agencies, ERD, and this Atish Dipankar University. We can go for real research, and we can invite investment for these climate-related projects as we build up $100 billion consortium in California. So different venture capital, different family house, different donor agencies, different kind of impact investors. They are working in World Talent Economic Forum, like Guterman family, like Swiss Impact Investment, like Y Combinators, and all of the financial institutions like JICA. They are working in our ecosystem. So we need to work together, go for very professional framework, and definitely this kind of scholars like Professor Fred and all of the people, we can invite them in Bangladesh, and this way we can make a real impact. Because honestly speaking, how I see different kind of feasibility study, specifically the BIDA and what you call PPP authorities, they have to go for the new strategy for inviting investment. It's investment come through creating new knowledge, creating new ecosystem, for creating new technologies. It's not only we invite the big company, just deploy their innovations, and someone come and invest $1 billion. Definitely, we need to create innovative ecosystem. That is the things people will learn from Silicon Valley. Like IIT also joined in this climate leadership program, and they are also uplifting the Indian economy through this process. The same way we can do it in Bangladesh. Presently, we are doing these things with Chittagong Engineering University. But as you have high connectivity and real framework, we can do real things. Just before I go to the conclusion remarks, there is a model. What you discuss, I really like your explanation, especially with these planning ministries, with these ERDs and so on. I call it access to finance. Access to finance is the most important component for climate-related things, especially country like Bangladesh. We should access through like lost and damaged fund, through this kind of different kind of initiative. So I call it Climate Bank or Talent Economy Bank. And there is a framework I developed for the emerging economy supply, specifically for the demographic issues, entrepreneurial issues, rapid technology adaptations, deep capital markets, advanced artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and institutional model. What Tando has, we need to invite this kind of institutions in our country. And through this process, we can go for blended finance, like philanthropic finance, corporate finance, climate finance, diaspora, venture capital, sovereign wealth fund. Also, we have our roadmap, or we can build up the pilot, what I call wisdom based human capital development. We need more wise people in our leadership, in politics, in academia, in corporation, everywhere. And we have different kind of venture capital, those who can active the early stage enterprise. Artificial intelligence, definitely very important. So we need to build up intelligent infrastructure through AI, through quantum computing, and so on. Climate innovation is the most important component. I request everyone to join in this climate leadership program. We have our famous scientists like Professor Fred, Julian Grosser, Robert, Patricia, Sheridan Tatsuno. I also part of these teams. This is extremely valuable knowledge they have. They have the experience to build up Japan. They have experience to build up China Science Academy. They have experience to build up Silicon Valley and so on. So this kind of things we need to engage with these ecosystems. So in our strategic way, there is artificial intelligence, venture capital, wisdom-based human capital, climate innovation, data-driven decisions, and definitely we want to invite you all for quantum computing research and so on. We find through this process, what I call the Silk Route 3.0, we can make this $1 trillion economy because you have a huge human resources. Like Bangladesh, around 57% youth, around 90 million people are youth. Like Atish Dipankar University or this Malaysia or these Indian partners, you have a lot of youth. We have to utilize this youth with their talent, and talent is the most important factors, and we need to mobilize it. And there are some side effects, there are some challenges and so on. Definitely we have a good governance. We need wisdom in the governance. We need ethical practice to each and every institutions. We need ethical practice in the governance. We need ethical practice in the corporation. We need ethical practice in the academia. That's why this Julian Grosser, he invented this Kokoro wisdom-based app, which will be very important for these things. So there is a four-body which is very, very essential to work together, like governing council, what Mr. Litton said, the investment capitals committee, innovation and technology board. Definitely we need to invite like Professor Fred, Julian Grosser, Roberts, and Yamanaka, this kind of people in our innovation board, because they can share their knowledge and expertise with our local ecosystem. And this way we can go for climate and other things. So there is a phase for 2006 to 2007. I call it foundation level through our climate leadership program. From 2007 to 2030, we can go for capitalizations. Then until 2034, we can go for scale up. Then we can go for coverage and the maturity level. So with this Himalaya, Ganga, Podda, Bay of Bengal, we can make an excellent ecosystem, but definitely we need political diplomacy, we need political relationship, political will, and better policy. I think that Tando has more than 100 resources. World Talent Economic Forum has more than 1.2 million people from around the world who can help to build up this ecosystem in an effective way. So we already taking initiative in Dhaka. We want to build these wisdom cities in Keraniganj with total groups, and definitely we call it wisdom before capital, talent hubs. Then we have to focus on climate. We need radical transparency. We need counterparts. We need intellectual community. We need technology. We need disrupted authority, accountability, and definitely industry academic relationship. We can make a meaningful contribution for us. So we request sovereign wealth fund, development financial institution, venture capital, private equity, climate funds, university research institutions, and diaspora for Bangladesh, for India, who can join in this ecosystem. And through this process, we can make a very meaningful contributions for Bangladesh. So I think Atish Dipankar University can play a strategic role for Bangladesh, for climate innovation, for climate bank, and for innovative technology. Tando can play as a resourceful person. Most advanced technology they have, most advanced people they have. We need to create a bridge. We call it global north and global south, north-south bridge. And through this process, India can play a role, Malaysia can play roles. In South Asia, we can make a very meaningful contribution. Definitely, we need access to finance. We need access to the political authority. We need to develop better policy, better technology, and we need to go for human resource development based on wisdom. So that's why climate strategic leadership program is very, very important. I directly want to go for Professor Fred. What's your concluding remarks? how climate-related things can change South Asia. Professor Fred.
You're a tough act to follow, Sharif. You just gave very spectacularly valuable closing remarks. I might add that there are a couple of psychological mechanisms that politicians are very familiar with. One of them is called discounting, that people tend to give importance to events that are close in time. Excuse me. That are close in time, space, and scope. So something that's happening this week, people think it's more important than something in the far future, far past. If something's happening in this town, people think it's more important than something happening on the other side of the world. And if there's harm coming to one single child, people somehow think it's more important than a mass murder happening somewhere else. So that's discounting in scope. And discounting has a great deal to do with how urgent people feel the climate situation is. The other psychological mechanism is staying ahead of the neighbors. Yeah, everybody, even if they don't need to be richer on an absolute dollar basis, they want to show that they're at least as rich as their neighbors and preferably a little bit richer than the neighbors. Okay. The flip side of that is people do not want to take a financial hit that is too dissimilar from the hit that their neighbors take. So from the politician's point of view, pro-environmental measures are going to cause short-term pain and benefit. It's the short-term pain that's very hard to sell to the electorate. So, can a very clever politician, perhaps assisted by a think tank, figure out what pro-environmental measures could be effective, acceptable to the electorate in their discounting psychology, and not too inequitable in terms of it hurting some people and not hurting other people. This is a narrow line on which to walk, and but it needs to be done. And you know that the politicians will say they don't want to do anything that would hurt their constituents because that will affect the outcome of the next election, and they won't do anything like that until the day before they're ready to retire. So this is the mindset that we need to combat, and I'm sure that everyone on this panel has that awareness, and just reminding you of it, and that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Javed, what's your closing remarks for today?
Just one line. We should create awareness as much as possible and go as fast as possible. That's the only solution.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Samsul Alam, definitely I want to ask for the closing remarks. Before that, I just want to share the framework. If we get access to the education ministers and the prime minister office, as well as we have all of the best resources in our hands, with all of the largest tech companies, venture capital, family house, and all of the things. So if we can go for a proper framework, and if we can go for a proper scientific innovations, I think we can uplift the Silk Route 3.0 from Himalaya, Ganga, Padma, and Bay of Bengal. Definitely, India and Bangladesh need to work together because we have water resources, we have most talented and the young populations. Definitely, you are working for the young populations, and through this framework, we can uplift our economy and we can achieve $1 trillion goal. Mr. Samsul Alam, what's your closing remarks for climate action?
Thank you. I think all important issues were discussed, and there are some commitments already reiterated that we can think together and we work together. And particularly, it was very interesting about Climate Bank and to launch some innovative, sustainable innovation techniques, technologies, and institutional supports, PPPs. I think our distinguished members of this panel and who are not present here, you can share the thoughts, and we hope to work together with our innovative thoughts and programs. And Bangladesh government has given highest priority on these sections and to handle these issues, to absolutely standing on a position to create a skilled nation, and the young people, whether they can handle their future with their own capacities, rather depending on government or any other support. So it is our time from private and from international support groups, universities to innovate, to think, comments these things, and I hope we'll get the opportunity to work together on the huge vision and mission. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your excellent contributions. Let's start our journey with this climate leadership program. And definitely I'm sharing our my innovations on this climate bank. I'm sure with all of our research, innovation, our intellectual community, our technology partners, with our venture capitals, we have more than 2,257 venture capital. Perhaps this is one of the largest ecosystem we build up through World Health Economic Forum. So we can invite them all. In today's world, individually, we cannot do anything. We need team. We need collaborations. What I learned from Professor Fred, what I learned from Western world. Let's work together and make progress. Thank you, everyone. I request all of our audience, please share this content. This is very valuable content for emerging economies. This is even very valuable for the North America. So we are developing North-South corridor. Through this North-South corridor, with the help of Tando and all of the best resources, we can make a new world. We can make a new economic formations through modern science, engineering, and technology. Thank you. Bye-bye and take care. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
you. Thank you, Dr. Sharif.